Oh, that we're the same size and we can share each other's jock straps?
No! Please, stop talking.
Yo, what is up guys, Bobby87 King here, back again with a new video talking about the top 10 best characters in Total Drama 2023. Which I've mentioned before, I do think this cast is the second best generation of all time and it's not even really that close. And this top 10 was very hard to put together. Obviously, a couple days ago, or maybe even a week, I did upload my rankings for the season of every single character, but in my opinion, that just did not age well because my opinions drastically changed, and now I'm pretty confident about the top 6. However, top 10 through 7 are pretty wonky. So yeah, let's just get it started at number 10. And at number 10 here, I really did debate this between Emma or Chase just because they're kind of glued to each other throughout most of the season. But at number 10 here, this might be a massive hot take, but I'm going with Chase. To be honest, I don't really think Chase is that great of a human being, obviously, but I kind of do like the fact that he is kind of an asshole to Emma and a very bad boyfriend, because honestly, I find that pretty funny, and throughout most season, Emma was just kind of hating on Chase, and while I did enjoy sometimes of that, and I also found Emma's dancing to be pretty cute, I don't know, I just like Chase more just because he's just funnier, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Chase is at number 10. Alright, coming in at number 9, we do have a character who did place pre-merge. Well, she's one of the 3 characters who did place pre-merge, and she's also one of the characters that name I mispronounced, and it's Axel. And I do really like Axel's character, just mainly because she is a character kind of like Eva and kind of like Joe in the same sense, and I both really do like both of those characters, so Axel's obviously going to be great in my opinion. And obviously the big thing, she is kind of pretty much like Sean in the sense that they're both afraid of zombies. Well, I wouldn't say that Axel's afraid of zombies. I would say that she's just prepared for the zombie apocalypse. And personally, I do really like that. Someone who's pretty much just spoiled himself on The Walking Dead. So there's that. And obviously, the big thing, obviously, I do ship her and Ripper, which obviously probably is a massive, like, what the fuck take. But I do honestly ship it because, I don't know, I just like their interactions. They reminded me of like kids who clearly liked each other fighting a lot of the time. And yeah, that's pretty much it for Axel. I just honestly liked her vibe and her character design. So yeah, there's that. She is at number 9. Alright, coming in at number 8. This might be a hot take considering the fact that this person is probably one of the bigger characters on the season, but at number 8 here we do have Raj. While I do like Raj, and I think that his relationship with Bowie and also his friendship with Wayne were pretty fun to watch, I just feel like Wayne and Bowie were just way more interesting of characters, and I feel like we got to see their perspective, while for Raj, we never really got to see what he was truly thinking a lot of the time, except for when he kissed Bowie and he said that felt right, but I feel like he should have said a bit more about how he felt about it. I don't know. It just felt like to me that we got to see a lot more of Bowie and Wayne's perspective about their relationship instead of Raj, in my opinion, and I feel like we should have at least seen more of Raj, so for now, he remains at number 8, and I feel like during season 2, they might explore Raj's perspective on his sexuality, so yeah, Raj is at number 8. Alright, coming in at number 7, we have a character that, to be honest, as time goes by, I think I'm starting to like the character more and more, but for now on this list, he will still remain at number 7, and it's Damien. To be honest, when I first watched the season, I didn't really care for Damien that much. I think the main reason for that is because he was just given the same plot as DJ in World Tour, which was just kind of mid overall. But I feel like now knowing, well, at least reassessing Damien as a character, I do like him a lot more just because of the fact that I think it's a natural reaction, obviously, if you never really heard of this show before and you think, oh, you're just gonna get the money or whatever, compete in some, like, challenges, but once you hear that, like, you're gonna get hurt and all the challenges are very gruesome, I feel like you would want to quit the show. And I do like his relationship with Pry. Well, not really relationship yet, obviously. I'm a massive Pry and Damien shipper, and I do think they will hopefully get together and not Damien Scary Girl, because if Damien and Scary Girl get together, they will become my least favorite characters on the show, to be honest, because obviously Scary Girl isn't on the list. I feel like if you've seen a lot of my community tab posts, I've made it pretty clear that I don't really like Scary Girl overall. So I really do hope Damien and Pry get together, and Damien has massive riz as well. He was able to riz up Pry just with one compliment, so yeah, there's that. Damien is at number 7. Alright, coming in at number 6, the top 6 here in my opinion are all pretty great characters, but at number 6 here, we do have the winner of the season, and it's Prya. And I think I was a bit too harsh on Prya during my season review, probably just because I was kind of annoyed of her strategic moves throughout most of the game, because if you really want to know my in-depth thoughts about Prya's game, just watch my season review, to be honest, because I'm not really going to be explaining that here. But to recap Prya's game, in my opinion, I do think she has a lot of faults throughout her game. Even though I wouldn't say it was actively bad, I would just say that she has some moments where most of her strategic moves just don't really make too much sense. But I do think as a character, Pry is very interesting to look at just because her parents really want her to be like this reality TV pro. No pun intended to the Redonkulous race team, obviously. But yeah, we see her parents wanting to train her to be this best Total Drama player. And I honestly do really like that for her. I think that her character is something interesting to look at because we've never really seen someone like that on the show. So I do think Pry was a pretty good representation of that, and I do find her friendship with Millie to be pretty interesting, to be honest. And while I did kind of snub Millie during my review as well, I do think their friendship is pretty interesting, even though in my opinion, at certain points it did become a little bit stagnant where not much was really happening, to be honest. But I do find Pry's character to just be overall pretty interesting throughout the season, and I did really enjoy her. So yeah, Pry is at number 6. Right, coming in at number 5, I know this might piss a lot of people off actually because I don't think many people like this character, but this is my list, this is just my opinion, it's Ripper. I honestly still really do love Ripper's character, and I think honestly the top 5 in general characters that I do actually really love, and I just find Ripper to be pretty entertaining. I think he is very funny. Outside of when he's farting, I do think anything he says is actually pretty interesting and honestly just makes for great comic relief. In my opinion, I think a lot of people compare it to Owen and Duncan, and while I do think he has Duncan's tendencies of just being kind of a dick, I do think he reminds me more so of MacArthur because both of them have the same level of amount of farts in their jokes, and both of them have a lot of great banter with a lot of the cast to where I do think they're both kind of douchey in kind of a way, but both very entertaining and pretty likable in my opinion at least. I like both of their characters, so there's that. And honestly, Ripper is just someone who's a great character. I do think he was pretty well written. And yeah, that's all I really have to say about Ripper. He is at number 5. Alright, coming in at number 4, we have the final pre-merged character on the list, and it's MK. And I think MK is honestly a very unique character to look at because even though a lot of characters do like to steal and all that sort of stuff, we never see that be ingrained in MK's strategy. Obviously, she ends up stealing Julia's phone to download a lot of confessionals to hear what the players are thinking, which in my opinion is a pretty strategic move, and I do really like it, even though it is kind of dirty play. As long as I like you, that's okay, in my opinion. If I like the character and they do something bad, I really don't care. But overall, I do think MK was a pretty enjoyable character. She's very sarcastic, kind of like Noah, and they both are very funny. Like, I would say they're both on par with being some of the most funniest characters on Total Drama, in my opinion. Just with her saying, "Look, Nichelle, it's my shocked face." In my opinion, that was just pretty funny overall. And yeah, I do think just MK in general is a very likable character. I do love her. I really wish she would have went farther, but in my opinion, obviously with Julia, I do just like Julia more overall. So yeah, MK lands at number 4. So I kind of realized while making this video, obviously this is edited bodv here, but I realized that I have 11 people on the list and Chase was probably not going to be on the list, and I kind of did miscount there. So instead of Chase, obviously he's kicked out of the list, and instead we're going to just be talking about Wayne here. And the best word to describe Wayne is probably just himbo, to be honest. I think that he's pretty dumb, but overall very, very likable, to where I think he is above Damien but below Pry on this list, so he ranks at number 7, I think? Yeah, number 7. And I loved how supportive he was of Raj, and him calling Raj Raji was just pretty, like, it's a pretty bromance going on there. And overall, I just love Wayne's character. Yeah, he is at number 7. Alright, coming in at number 3, we actually do have Z. And Z's a very likable character in my opinion, following the trend with most of these characters. I like the fact that he's an amputee, and they didn't really give him that underdog story like, oh, feel bad for me. I like the fact that he's very chill about it, and how he always makes up stories about how he lost his leg. In my opinion, those were just pretty entertaining moments. And I also loved the scene where he was flirting with that emu or bird, whatever you really want to call it. But yeah, outside of that, Z just has a lot of fun character moments with him saying, "I've never been this high before," which I personally just don't believe. But yeah, overall, Z's just honestly very funny, very charismatic. I love his character, so yeah, he is at number 3. Alright, coming in at number 2 is a character that, had you have told me before I watched this season that she would be number 2 in my character rankings, I would have told you that you were joking, that you were high, because I actually thought this contestant was going to be the first high contestant on the show, but it is Julia. And I think Julia is pretty much Dakota gone right, because in my opinion, Julia's story overall was just way better than Dakota's, because Dakota ends up being like a freak near the end of her run, so there's that. It's unfortunate, but whatever, what are you gonna do? But I think Julia's story is pretty interesting here, to where she came in kind of as an influencer, but like not really, I don't think, as famous as someone like Nichelle, or even, to be honest, as Chase, not gonna lie. But seeing her career pretty much get ruined on the show, and then her being very upset and mad, but then her not really giving a damn afterwards, and her just being herself, and pretty much being this badass on the season. And overall, I did kind of enjoy that heel turn for Julia. It felt like a nicer progression, unlike someone like Scarlet, who turns into the villain, which was, even though it was kind of built up, in my opinion, it just wasn't executed as best as it could have been. But overall, yeah, I do think Julia on the season has an incredible run, an incredible downfall even, in my opinion, to where Bowie just completely outplays her, and they kind of did have a small rivalry for most of the season, so there's that. And overall, I just do love Julia's character, but I just love Bowie even more, to where we can just talk about Bowie right now. And I think Bowie's one of those characters that is not only the best character from their generation, but also the best player from their generation. To where I do think Bowie's just overall very entertaining. He's very funny in the confessionals. And I think overall his relationship with Raj and him wanting to put it on pause until the game's all over, which in my opinion is a very respectable choice, obviously. And I do think they wrote Bowie very, very well for this season. And I do think out of all the players here, I do think Bowie played the best game. Even though on paper he really shouldn't have, but he still was able to play the game very, very well. And I do think had the vote have been a jury vote, I do think Bowie would have gotten Wayne's vote, Raj's vote, probably Z, Ripper, Chase, and Emma's votes, where he would have smoked Pry in a jury vote had that would have been the case. And I overall just think Bowie is just a great character in general. His lines are very, very funny. And overall, the voice actor did an incredible job, because honestly, I always laugh if Bowie's trying to be funny, and I always do find it interesting whenever Bowie does talk strategy. He came for the crown. He pretty much got it in some countries probably, unless they only stuck to one winner, which would kind of suck. But I don't think that is the case, but it could honestly be. That's just a topic for another video. Bowie is at number 1 for just being such a king. That's the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for 400 subscribers, and we're even growing right now to where I think right now we're at 434 something right now, which is absolutely pretty crazy in my opinion. Thank you guys so much for watching my videos throughout most of it, even though sometimes they do like kind of slur my words, and I think I did mispronounce Priya's name a lot throughout the video, so there's that. Sorry for that. But yeah, overall, thank you guys so much for 400 subscribers. It does mean a lot to me. And yeah, obviously, next few videos that are coming out, I do want to make a Dreamcasting Total Drama Second Chances, and doing like a what if Chris was just going to do like a second chance season with all the players who've only played once. And I think that's a very interesting video to do, so I might just do that before I get to my Disadventure Camp review and top 10 of that season overall. And yeah, just stick to more Total Drama content and all of that type of stuff. So yeah, peace out.